Greetings, my beautiful soul. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I really had the intention to film this video days ago, but because of the intensity of the full moon, I have not been able to. Even today, I'm still struggling, but I really wanted to put this out there because there may be others that are also struggling. So I just wanted to share what I think is happening currently, just so you feel like you have some grounding, some understanding. So it seems that this full moon, this is the full moon at the end of July. Although the full moons have been very intense this whole year, I feel this one to me is the most intense so far. And it really seems to be about making us shift whatever things are still holding us back from fully being our authentic selves, fully being in our power. And I guess I'm going to share a bit about my experience with this full moon, and perhaps you relate on some level. But the things that we all need to shift are obviously different because we have different struggles. So your shifts and your experience may be different from mine, but in the essence of this greater purpose, it's probably similar. Unless you're someone who's already cleared all your stuff. But then you probably wouldn't be on my channel, I assume. Anyway, I think we all have things to clear, no matter how far along on the healing path we are. So basically, the full moon, and even before, obviously the period of the full moon extends several days before and after. So usually for me it always begins a few days before, and it was all about letting go of everything. It actually started even, I would say, a few weeks before, but it just got more intense as the full moon drew closer. And I'm talking about like letting go of work things that are not aligned with me, including places I do my healing work, clients. I had a very intense experience with a client yesterday that I had to finally stop seeing because it was just so toxic. And I've never done that before with any client, so it's not something that I take lightly whatsoever. And then as well in the areas of my relationships, my friendships, although a lot of these friendships have already been kind of I've already been aware for quite a long time, like over a year, that these relationships weren't really working anymore because I had shifted and we just weren't aligned anymore. But I guess it came to I think because letting go of relationships is a gradual process, and there are layers. At first we think, okay, well, we can just see this person occasionally. But then I came to a place where I really feel like it can't really have almost any relationship with these people, and this is not to say that these are some horrible people. These are good people. It's just that sometimes when we shift, we just become so misaligned that it's just not serving anyone anymore. And so it just and at the same time as all of this was happening, I started reading this book. I have no affiliation with with the book. I just think it's really great. I just started, but it's not your money. So Tasha Silver, I love her. I read her other books, and this was recommended to me. And literally, as soon as I started reading it, the main premise of this book is that, well, I'm probably going to do a whole other video about this. But anyways, I'll just give a quick synopsis of what I think it's about, because I've only read the first chapter and the preface. It's kind of about letting go of control and allowing God, the universe, to guide you, and aligning with that and following that, and that will create opportunities. So literally the day I bought the book, which was last Thursday, a couple of hours after I bought it, I had a meeting with my boss, and my boss was telling me how I have a summer, just like a temporary position there. But she was telling me how she wanted to extend my position, and we were talking about what kinds of things I could do in the fall and winter, and we were both very excited. And this came out of the blue, and it was great. So at the same time, so what I think is happening is that as I'm letting go of these work opportunities that are not aligned with me, then work opportunities that are aligned with me are coming. And a lot of people want the things that are aligned to come first, and then it's much easier to let go of the other things, right? Once you have lots of clients, you think, okay, well, I don't need this client, I can let him go. The thing is that there is a level of trust involved, and the energy that we expend, or the misaligned energy that we are having with, a client or a boss that's not working, I think is repelling the right opportunities from coming along. So as we let go of misaligned things, aligned things have space. A lot of it is about space. Another thing that I started doing about a week ago was more meditation, and that's also about creating space. I was trying to meditate during the day, like going about my day being in a meditative state. And I realized it feels like your vision is expanded. It feels like your brain is expanded. And it's a similar thing with letting things go. Opportunities and things need space. And so even though we're scared to let things go, maybe we don't have a huge group of friends like me, so we don't want to let old friends go. But, in order for these new aligned friendships to come in, there has to be space. And even if we're not seeing people very often, it still takes up space, energetic space and things like this. So that was what was happening. And then the other part that happened for me, which I don't quite fully understand yet, but it's related to shame. And shame is an emotion that I personally find very difficult to tune into. It's very easy for me to tell, like, oh, I'm angry, I'm sad, what else? Disappointed or frustrated or whatever. But sometimes I'll get into like this negative state and I can't even name it. And often that's shame. Now, sometimes shame comes from our own feelings of shame about things that have happened to us, or bad decisions we've made, or something from the past. But sometimes we can, if we still have some shame that we haven't resolved, and we are around other people that have a lot of shame, and we are empaths, we can take on their shame. So this is what I think happened also with my client, which is why I'm still processing that. We can take on their shame, and then the shame is even harder to pinpoint, because now there was no trigger for shame, if you're following. Like, there wasn't something I was thinking about in my past that I thought, oh, I'm ashamed of this. That happened like a week ago. I worked through that. That was a lot too. That was shame, money shame, and past relationship shame, as in like toxic relationships that I like stayed in too long. And so these are two areas that are very often linked to shame if we have certain experiences or we are carrying stuff from our families. Anyways, so as I let go of this previous shame in me, then it came up in it didn't even come up in the session with my client, but I'm saying I know that there's shame involved there. And there's shame involved with like also a family member of mine who's also very unwell. This client is also very unwell, and they have similar issues, and somehow I haven't resolved things with both of these in this area, which is why the client even came along to begin with, I think. Because I also saw my family member last week, which was very difficult because he's very unwell. And I think there's also a lot of guilt on my part for how unwell he is and why am I okay, and a lot of my family actually isn't doing super well, which is why I've had to do so much healing. And sometimes there's this feeling of like, oh, how can I really be so successful if these other people are struggling, you know? Okay, so I like went really far. I don't know if you relate to any of this, but I'm sharing it because some of you may relate to some of it. So I think the other part about shame that we need to know is that shame is all about not being able to be our true selves, blocking ourselves because of judgment, and it's really very toxic for us. And as I said, it's also very insidious because we may not realize we're dealing with it. And if there is shame in us, we may be picking it up from others around us who are also struggling with it. A lot of people are, or I would say that really the bottom line is that it's really time for all of us to overcome and release these things. If I release my shame, then I will not be picking up shame from other people. If I release, whatever we heal and release within us, we are not going to be picking it up from others. So there must still be this shame in me that I need to work through. So that's what I feel this full moon is doing. It's really, really using whatever means necessary to try to get us into alignment with ourselves, letting go of the past, letting go of the shame of the past, and letting go of anything that is not aligned with us, our work, our friends, our maybe for some of us, our careers. I'm fortunate enough to have found a couple of careers now that I really feel connected to. But those of us who are struggling with career, we might be feeling lost about what are we supposed to be doing, or we're in a career that we don't like. Then we're going to, it's going to bring up things, and we're going to be being pushed to let go of that career and find one that is more aligned. So that might be another experience that you may be having. So all that to say that I want to send you all the love and all the support, and also to just reiterate that if any of you feel called to work with me, You can look on my website to see the kind of work that we can do. It's kind of a combination of intuitive counseling, coaching, and sound and energy healing. Then please reach out. The best way is to email me, because if you do it through my website, sometimes things go to spam and whatever. So, but I'm sending you the biggest hugs, and just hang in there and just know that this is all for our highest good, and each step, each thing that we release and overcome is bringing us so much further along on the path to our true selves and our true path. So please hang in there and keep going, and things will be amazing. Thank you so much for watching.